Hello again and welcome back to another one. And recently word got out from a podcast with Royce and Jamar, where Jamar stated that he's now good with Eminem, and we'll get to some reactions that are quite interesting and divided. We also have more on who had the best verse on Friday Night Cypher, coming from the rapper deemed to have the worst verse on a quote-unquote cancelled platform. And as we dive in, if you're here for the first time, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and find me on social media at ETLifestyle_web. Just as I covered on this channel a few days ago, Jamar sent word to Eminem via Royce to tell him things are good. And even under my videos, some of the popular comments include, "What beef? Man been sitting on a couch for 7 years, he can sit on a couch for another 7, implying that Jamar's beef was never legit, and it makes sense since every time Eminem sent a reply his way, he ran to Vlad's couch to respond, certainly not the hip-hop way of handling things, and another popular comment even questioned his integrity. Both Nick and Jamar called Eminem a vulture, but now they're good with him. If Eminem was any of those things, why would they be okay with him? If I thought someone was a vulture, I wouldn't want anything to do with them, let alone publicly state that I was cool with them. The fact that both Nick and Jamar want to squash the beef proves that either A, Eminem was never a vulture to begin with and is owed an apology from Nick and Jamar, or B, Nick and Jamar have zero integrity for being cool with a vulture. This reply summarized my initial thoughts perfectly regarding the change of heart from Jamar and Nick, because regardless of how much we want peace and unity right now, most would agree that those are legitimate questions. And after the big hip-hop publications covered the news, it sparked a conversation on platforms like Twitter. For instance, Hip Hop DX covered the news which drew responses like this. So suddenly, Eminem's not a culture vulture, L. Jamar, while some believe Vlad is solely to be blamed for the drama in the first place. Beautiful to see. Vlad instigated the beef of views and clout on some Buster-ish. Only makes sense that you're piecing the culture back together after divorcing the vulture, L. Jamar. Proud of you. But Jamar is 52 and solely responsible for what came out of his mouth. Vlad did the instigation and provided a popular platform for Jamar, but in the end he's responsible for what came out of his mouth, some of which were horrendous. A user brings up one where Jamar went too far. I don't want to say Royce is a liar, but Jamar literally sat on his show and said Eminem was so desperate to blow, he offered Haley to Dre. There's a video he's twisting the bar on Forgot About Dre, and it's absolutely horrendous. Jamar said a lot of BS that I don't see am forgiven, and another user insinuates that this is more like a ceasefire. Squashing the beef doesn't mean he forgave Jamar. In fact, that's another story. Maybe he won't diss him anymore if Jamar really keeps on behaving. But regardless of the details, Royce has been commended for his efforts by many. One user states, Royce could squash any beef, the Avengers should have had him deal with Thanos. And another adds, I'm just happy people are finally waking up and seeing what a clown culture vulture DJ Vlad really is. As always, we'll see how things go from Eminem. He'll probably never speak on this, but maybe we won't get bars of Jamar mopping floors and cleaning sinks anymore on songs moving forward. But I won't lie, that user earlier summed up some important questions for Jamar and Nick. And before we head over to the next point, here's a bonus for today. Quavo recently shared a picture with the doctor with the caption, "Just left the doctor's office," and this caught some by surprise on Twitter. Confused. Quavo not nearly on the caliber of an artist you have to be alone in the studio with the likes of Dr. Dre. Dre must be going through something after his divorce to be hanging out with a little brother like Quavo. But here's a suitable reply to this thought. He doesn't discriminate, he could turn crap into gold. Save your comments for later and we head over to the next point. Detroit rapper Sada on Friday Night Cypher recently had some words for Eminem which I covered on this channel, where he explained how entitlement is the reason he doesn't like Eminem. You can find the video I did on that at the link that pops up. And shortly after Vlad's cancellation, he went on his platform to talk with the man that Royce urged artists to cancel. On the topic of Friday Night Cypher, despite admitting that he is yet to listen to the track since it released, he claims he had the best verse along with Cash Doll. And revisiting what Crook asked weeks ago, y'all think the culture really gon' cancel DJ Vlad? Well, Charlamagne was just there and now this. So we have our answer for now. Back to the point, one user reacts to this revelation. How would he know if he claimed to not have heard the entire cypher? Also, I don't care what the person with the worst verse thinks, and some even tagged Royce to the thread to show him where his Detroit brother chose to go for clout. The rapper with the worst verse seems to think he had the best verse, but it's 2020, the year of the upside down, so it's not surprising. That will be all for today. Share your thoughts below, like and subscribe if you haven't, and see you on the next one.